A man missing for 26 years was found alive in his neighbor's basement. How did he end up in captivity, and why couldn't they find him? In 1998, Omar bin Omran lived in the Algerian state of Jelfa. He was 17 at the time. One day, he went to his college as usual and never returned. He wasn't seen at the school either. No one knew where he had gone. His relatives searched for Omar throughout the country, but all efforts were in vain. Eventually, everyone gave up except for his mother. At that time, a civil war was ongoing in Algeria. Each year, the conflict claimed tens of thousands of lives, and kidnappings were also common. Omar's relatives suspected that he, like many other Algerians, had gone missing during the war. One of Omar's cousins told the national newspaper that his mother and brothers kept searching for years, but eventually stopped. "We thought he was no longer alive. We had no hope of finding him." His mother was the last person who believed in Omar's rescue. She advocated for continuing the search, but she passed away in 2013. At the end of her life, she wished for the authorities to find her son. In May 2024, the local prosecutor's office received an anonymous tip suggesting that a former neighbor was hiding Omar in a sheep room in his basement. As reported by BBC News, on Sunday, May 12th, National Gendarmerie officers conducted a search at the indicated address. The anonymous tip proved correct. The missing man was indeed found in the basement, hidden under hay bales. The freed man, 45 years old, was trembling and barely able to walk. He was leaning on the police and hiding from light and camera flashes. It was reported that he had both physical and mental health issues. After being freed, Omar bin Omran was taken to the hospital, where only close relatives were allowed to visit him. The family was shocked to learn that Omar bin Omran was alive. He is afraid, especially after the confinement, because he's not used to being in other places, one family member explained. For 26 years, Omar had not seen the sun even once. A cousin of the rescued man reported that he came to his senses in the hospital. "He was able to talk to me and recognize me. His situation is not critical. He is in good shape, but needs help to reintegrate into society and leave behind what he went through." The basement where his neighbor kept him was less than 600 feet from the family home. Sometimes Omar could see his relatives through the window, and he even heard about his mother's death. Sometimes his father walked by on the way to the mosque, not knowing his son was so close. Omar never tried to escape or signal his presence to acquaintances when he saw them through the window. He believed that his captor was watching his every move. He confessed that it felt like he was under a spell. Relatives believe that the captor brainwashed him. When Omar was found, his kidnapper tried to flee, but was arrested by the police. He turned out to be a government official. His motives remain unclear. Omar's family recalled another suspicious circumstance. When he disappeared, his dog started visiting the neighbor's house and whining. Eventually, the neighbor dealt with the dog. Now it's clear what was happening. It turned out that the kidnapper was exposed by his own sister, with whom he couldn't share an inheritance.